Welcome, Votann and friends. We've got a big old exciting leak release over here from Games Workshop. Not probably them themselves, but someone has leaked the Games Workshop's new Leagues of Votann. Um, and we're going to go over it. I'm going to take a look at it, tell you some of my thoughts, and just kind of give you the rundown. I know some people probably be like, well, I have my own thoughts, but you can form your own thoughts after I give my thoughts. Form your thoughts as I give my thoughts, whatever you want. Let's take a look at this. Let's see what's going on. All right, so the Needguard Oath Band. I'm probably not going to go in and read every little bit in detail here. I mean, in terms of like, I love the fluff of the Votann, but I'm going to save that maybe for when the actual book comes out and get into it. Um, I want to talk about the exciting new rule changes and everything that's going on. So that's what this is sort of focused on. Each time an enemy unit is destroyed, you gain one yield point. And from what I've seen so far, those yield points get thrown into a lot of things. We've got enhancements such as the Oathbound Speculator. Now, I want to also point out, I've only read some of this, so I'm going to be giving you some pretty raw reactions here. And I've gone over some of it, so some of it I've seen. So, just with that in mind. Oathbound Speculator, Leagues of Votann model only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. Each time the bearer's unit is selected to shoot or fight, you can spend 3 yield points. If you do, until the end of the phase, each time a model in the bearer's unit makes an attack, add 1 to the wound roll. That's good. That's really good. You haven't read these enhancements. That's kind of awesome. I know that a lot of these are going to be using yield points and such, but that's nice. Reroll a wound roll of 1 and straight up add 1 to the wound roll for yield points, and you can just do that for anytime they shoot or fight. Okay, yeah, I can see a lot of uses for that. It's giving you a little bit of that grudge ability back. Put on a good solid unit, and we can maybe see in a little bit what those units could be. Dead Reckoning, cool name. Leagues of Votann model only. At the end of the turn, if the bear is on the battlefield and you spend no yield points that turn, you can gain 1 yield point. At the end of the turn, if they're on the battlefield and they spend no yield points. Turn 1, I could see that being useful. I feel like you're going to be spending a lot of yield points in this army. I've seen enough to know yield points are getting spent like a currency. Let's see. Iron Ambassador. It's got a cool weapon. Exceptional weapon wielded by heroes. League of Votann model equipped with an autarch pattern combi bolter only. Once per battle, when the bear's unit is selected to shoot, the bear can use this enhancement up to 3 yield points, and until the end of the phase, add the number of yield points you just spent the damage characteristic of the bear's ranged weapons. Model equipped with an autarch pattern combi bolter only. 3 yield points and till the end of the phase. Wow, your damage characteristic. Okay, so I've already looked at the Hearthguard, and so if you put that on their plasmas, you could be doing 5 rapid. You could do rapid fire 10 shot. Oh, okay. This has potential for being amazing. That's just. I mean, you're just straight up upping the damage. Till the end of the phase, add number of life you just spent to the damage characters. Oh, the bear's range weapon. So it has to be their gun. Okay, so they're 4 shots, and it could go up to 4 damage. I guess. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Maybe. The 0 AP. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Maybe. It's kind of cool. Anyway. Ancestral Crest. Model only once per turn. When you target the bear's unit with the command reroll stratagem, the bear can use this enhancement, and if he does, spend 1 YP and reduce the cost of that by 1. So you get like a free. You get the free. Yeah, maybe. You know. Command rerolls, I have a love-hate relationship with them. They only ever help me out for charge rolls, and everything else they'll always be like, here's another 1. So I'm cursed. All right, let's move on. Let's see here. Um, oh man, all sorts of enhancement strats. Void hardened. Okay, so this is just going to be your reduce the armor penetration by 1 um, in the opponent's shoot phase or fight phase just after the unit is selected. 1 League of Votann unit that was the target until the end of the phase. Each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration by 1. My question for that would be, I know they had all the FAQ stuff saying, oh, you don't get to worsen the armor pen except for in that one attack instance against Space Marines, like their Armor of Contempt. I'd have to go back and double check that then, because this is again still written as until the end of the phase each time. So if it overrides sort of the ruling they had for Armor of Contempt style abilities, that would be really cool to just be like, oh, all shooting phase or all fighting phase, I'm gonna reduce your AP. That'd be sweet. I'd love it. Honor of the Hold, fight phase only. 3 YP. I think we kind of saw this already. Stratagem, you spend 3, you get melee attack. Improve the armor penetration in melee. If you spent the YP, your armor penetration goes by 2 instead. It could be good. I mean, there's enough AP1 weaponry. And I've seen the Chthonian Berserkers, and they've got AP, I think, 2. So I don't know. This is a tougher one. Do you want it? Do you not want it? It's 3 yield points. That seems kind of like a lot. You almost are better off just throwing it on like your regular grunts to just make them have extra bite. So if you have a full 10-man that's maybe has to get into combat, and it's backed up by, you know, a call or someone who's swinging swords around or something. I don't know. The thing is, like, I find most of your weapons either have the AP you need, or they're not really good at fighting in close combat anyway. So I don't know, and I've always felt that way about this one anyway. Order retreat. Let's see. Movement phase. League of Votann army falls back until the end of turn. So will shoot and declare charge. This is such an awesome ability. I've always loved it. It's still there. These are very similar. And central sentence. You're going to get the same hits 1 or 2, depending on if you spend the YP, yield points. YP, that sounds so weird to say. But yeah, it's good. It's good. You know, sustained hits 2 is worth it for a lot of things. This will be especially nice on, say, your Thunderkin, potentially. You know, who are now pretty awesome. Hunter's Mark. Sensor network collaboration tied to the Hunter modules. I'm glad they're putting that in there. That they got all these like fancy weird Hunter or Matter like names for weapons. What's this do? 1 leads of Votann in the shooting phase. They have not yet been selected to shoot until the end of the phase. Each time they make an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1 and re-roll a wound roll of 1. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll. Okay. That's kind of neat. Re-rolling is always good. Yeah. Reactive reprisal. When your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has shot, if the unit from your army has fortified takeover. Okay, so 2 CP. 1 League of Votann from your unit that was selected as a target. Let's see. When your opponent's shooting phase just after. Okay, so it has to be right after. Unit shoots as if it were your shooting phase. Only that enemy unit. You can only shoot that enemy when doing so, and can only do so if the enemy is as a target. So we already had reactive reprisal, which was pretty good, but this one, your opponent's shooting phase just after the enemy unit has shot. If units from your army have fortified takeover. That's a lot of extras. 2 CP is a lot to shoot back at something. Because guess what? The only time I've ever been able to use reactive reprisal is when people absolutely have to shoot something and they just kind of don't finish it. Or when they just weren't thinking and moved something into range and shot me. And then they were just like, oh, my pistol's in. I just wiped that unit out or something. Like, but most people will go, oh, you could shoot me back, I'm not going to shoot you. And if they are shooting you, they're hoping to kill you and take you out. So the fact that this needs to also have fortified takeover in effect, which, I mean, let's say you have fortified takeover up half the game, maybe you're back and forth or something. I don't know. I mean, now you have to be saving 2 CP. You also have to be in fortified. I don't know. I don't think that they needed to add that fortified takeover in there. I don't like the idea of having to be in a stance one way or another to use even an entire, like, it's already 2 CP, so it feels bad to have to spend 2 CP to just shoot someone back, which can be good but can be not. And you still have to roll everything. It's just an extra turn of fire you get after someone shot you, and it's probably the last time you get to shoot before that thing gets destroyed, depending. And then also being like, oh, but are we in? Oh, I guess we can't. We're not in takeover mode. I don't know. I'm iffy about that one a little bit, and I'm probably quibbling too much about it at this moment. I just spilled my coffee. All right. So let's take the next page. What are we going on? Let's move on. This is just one of them. All right. Brand Fast Oath Band. Okay. So, the Brandfast Oath Band mobile sensor relays, the massed armored transports of Brandfast. Okay, so this is going to be the vehicle one, right? And we've got League of Votann transport units for your army have the following ability: fire-based control. Oh, I see. That's what they're talking about. The wild friendly Leagues of Votann infantry units are wholly within 6 inches of this transport. Ranged weapons equipped by models in an infantry unit have the sustained one ability. So this is pretty cool as just a straight up ability. My only downside is that, I mean, you're going to have to probably play Votann differently, but my Votann have always been very, you have to break me out of my shell. I run up with a lot of Sagittars and some land forts, and I will get out of the land forts to take shots, but mostly I want you to, like, have to fight. I don't want it to be like, oh, here's a target for all your anti-vehicles, and here's a target for all your anti-infantry, because I got my guys out, and they usually die pretty quickly. So I prefer it to be, you have to break open my vehicles, and then my guys pour out, and they're angry dwarves. Now, we don't have grudge mode anymore, so maybe it doesn't matter even. Maybe it's really worth it to just get them out there, but I don't know. We'll see. What do they got here? Tactical Alchemy. Call model only in your command phase if the bearer's unit is within range of one or more objective markers you control that are not within your deployment zone. You can spend 1 YP, and if you do re-roll these, nah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. That's CP gain. I play a lot of armies that get to, like, well, I have a couple other armies, and say Gene Still Occultist. They have an entire unit that if it's on an objective, you just get to roll a 4+ every turn for each unit on an objective. And even if you've got 2, I feel like I don't get my CP back, or it's still up in the graph. Oh, I'm rolling 2 dice and I'm looking for a 4+. If you just have 1, it's nice to be like, hey, I might get a CP off of this guy standing on an objective. But then it's like, oh, you have to control this objective, you have to be standing on it, you have to be out of your vehicle to be doing that, you have to not be in your deployment zone, you have to spend a yield point, and then maybe a 4+, you'll get a 1 CP. And, like, compared to how other armies just go, oh, we just can, Gretchen, they could just sit there and they could just get CP, right? And same with the Gene Still Occultists. I mean, on a 4+, and it doesn't happen that often. So having to be like this, that, these, those. Anytime you see an ability where it's like, oh, hey, if you have like 3 things going on, you'll maybe get something on a 4. No, thanks. I don't know about that one. The Trivarg Cyber Implant, a neural artifact of the famed but tragically extinct Trivarg Fisculate Guild of the Broke Hero. Dang. Leagues of Votann model only, obviously. In your shooting phase, each time the bearer's unit is selected, shoot if it disembarked from a transport this turn, or if you spend 2 YP. So you could just disembark, or you could spend 2 YP. until the end of the phase. Ranged weapons equipped by models in that have 2 sustained hits, which is pretty slick. That's way better. Like, get out of a vehicle and get sustained 2. Disembark from a transport to stern. So it doesn't even, they don't even have to be within 6 inches to get that. This is just if you got out of the transport and then the transport drives off to do something else, you're still getting the sustain 2. Or you could just spend 2 IP so you don't even have to get back in. That's awesome. I like this. Precursive Judgment. Call model only while the bearer's unit is wholly within 6 inches of one or more friendly leagues of Votann. Transport units. So this is the same thing as the actual detachment rule. You can target the bearer's unit with Fire Overwatch for 0 CP. And hits are scored on an unmodified hit roll of 5? Dang. Okay, that's cool. That's pretty neat. I like the idea that I wonder if you can do that combined. I think you could still only do stratagems once per phase, right? But getting this field of fire coverage, so the call with his boys gets to open up for free if they get a chance, and Steeljacks would also, if they're joined, would get a chance. I don't know. That seems like you could set up some kind of cool, like we're holding down the ground, and every time you have to make a move towards this army, there's units here and there. There's a number of units that could just open up on you and fire and try and like hammer on you. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of neat. That could be useful. You could kind of build a cool concept around that. Iron Master model only. Okay. Each time friendly leagues of Votann models is repaired using the bear's forge rot, the model regains 1 additional lost wound. So I don't know how many wounds they can do yet, but that's probably good. I mean, it's nice anytime you fix them things. Fixing things is good. So we got cool more stuff up here. Secured positions. End of any phase. Units from your army have hostile acquisition. Okay, so this is another one that's like, hey, be in this stance. Okay, 1 Leagues of Votann transport unit from your army. 1 Leagues of Votann unit embarked within your transport can disembark. When doing so, models in the unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield, wholly within 6 inches. Okay, so what is this? 1 League of Votann unit embarked within your transport can disembark. End of any phase. End of any phase. If units from your army have the hostile acquisition. 1 Leagues of Votann transport unit from your army. They can disembark and set up anywhere on the battlefield, wholly within 6 inches of your transport. That's pretty far. And also it's at the end of the phase. So you're like dumping dudes out. I guess you're basically being like, oh yeah, these guys are getting out now, and they're unloading. They look into shooting the shooting phase. That could be interesting. I'm not sure. I can see that being like really sneaky. Like you're not ready to get guys out until the very end of 1 unit that you really want to pop out and do some shooting. And maybe by then you've fished out your opponent's overwatches and what have you. Bastion running. Alright, I like the sound of that. Alright. Hekaton Landfort, yeah, I like them. Temporarily rigged by its crew for Bastion running. 1 CP. It's been selected to move this phase until the end of the phase. Each time your unit makes a normal or advanced move, it can move horizontally through terrain features. This fortified system provide a brief power of surge, allowing for the tank to smash away through hostile environments. It can move horizontally through terrain features. Does that mean you can just go through walls? I guess that's probably what it means. It can move horizontally. That's probably what it means. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to redouble check that. I don't have too many units that ever do things. But it probably means it can go through walls. Okay, illuminated priority. When your shooting phase, just after a Leagues of Votann unit vehicle has shot, that Leagues of Votann unit, select 1 enemy unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time a Leagues of Votann infantry model for your army makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. So, light them up. Line them up. Using specialized beam emission signatures, multispectral ammunition, or broadcasting targeting data. Yeah. I can see that's probably pretty good, especially if you're going to have other vehicles focus fire in on it, and they're going to get their +1 and maybe reroll ones. Inexorable efficiency. Your shooting phase. League of Votann unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. Okay. Alright, yeah, so this one doesn't get the fallback, shoot, and charge, but you can fall back and shoot. Very useful, always. It's a shooting army. I feel like mostly it's a shooting army, especially if you're going to run like a bunch of vehicles. Opportunistic escalation. When your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit is shot, if units from your army have hostile acquisition, again another requirement, one League of Votann vehicle unit from your army, excluding Hecaton land fort units, excluding? that was hit by one or more of those attacks, you can make a normal move of up to D6. D6 inches move. Okay. So it looks like this one is very... You have hostile acquisitions up, and you will get to move when shot at, and push and deploy further ahead. One League of Votann at the end. One League of Votann embarked with him can disembark. So this probably can be done even if you like rush that vehicle with like an advance move even. Anyway. Vengeance Flare. 2 CP. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy has shot. One League of Votann infantry unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. So infantry. Each time you use this stratagem, you can spend 2 YP to select one Capricus or Sagittar within 6 inches of your infantry. If you spend YP during this use of the stratagem, you can select one from the Hecaton land fortress. Instead, and the selected unit can shoot at the your shooting phase. When doing so, models in this selected unit can only target that enemy. Okay, there we go. So I get it. So basically, the last one we get kind of like a crappy version of this. This one's the vehicle division. So one League of Votann unit that was hit. Yeah. So if your infantry is being shot at, then these guys are gonna light stuff up. I can see that. That's pretty cool. 2 C. You can spend 2, and then a Hecaton will get to do it too. Yeah. It's a little bit better. Now it requires your guys being shot. I like that maybe a little more because your vehicles are gonna be better at shooting things. Delve Assault Shift. Chthonian Berserkers have the deep strike, and they become battle line. Alright. A Delverk Navigator. The Delve Assault Shift. A League of Votann model only. In the reinforcement step of your movement phase, the bear can use his enhancement. If he does so, select one Chthonian Berserker unit visible to the bear and... Let's see. Okay, and then spend any number of YP. Return one destroyed model to that unit. What? Really? Reserves, huh? For every 2 YP you spend, return up to 1 additional destroyed model of that unit. If it does, select one friendly Chthonian Berserker unit visible to the bear, and then spend any number of YP. Return 1 destroyed model to that unit, and then... okay, so you get to just... You automatically get to put 1 in, and then for every 2 you spend, you get 1 additional model. Ooh, that's cool. That's neat. It's sad we didn't get a Chthonian hero, but that's interesting. That could be really cool. Multi-wave system jammer. 1 Leagues of Votann model only. Once per battle in your movement phase. If the bearer is on the battlefield, you can use this enhancement. Select one friendly Chthonian unit that is in reserve until the end of the phase. For the purpose of setting that unit up on the battlefield, treat the current battle round as being 1 higher. Okay, so if you got a guy hanging out on the battlefield, you can get these guys on the board faster. They have deep strike. I guess all I can say is you get some guys on the board turn one. Quick supervisor. While the bear is within 3 inches of one or more leagues of Votann artillery, it's funny, very specific. The bear has the lone operative ability, and each time one of those artillery units makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy unit invisible to the bear, add 1 to the hit roll. Ooh, interesting. A little risky, maybe. But, like, I guess they could be behind a wall, and he could be standing out in front of the wall, and then he could be, like, 1 to hit. Maybe. Not sure. Leagues of Votann model only. Each time the bear's unit is selected to fight, pile driver, the bear can use this enhancement. If it does, you can spend up to 2 YP, and till the end of the phase, add the number of YP you just spent to the damage characteristic of the bear's melee weapons. I wonder who that could go on, though. Well, alright. Cyberstim Infusion. Chthonian Berserker unit from your army has not been selected to fight this phase. Each time you use this stratagem, you can spend 2 YP until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, re-roll a wound of 1. If you spent the YP, you can re-roll the wound roll instead. Re-roll a wound roll. Yeah, that's good. I'll take that. That's nice. Re-rolling wounds. Unstoppable Force. Fight phase. Leagues of Votann unit for your army has been selected to fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time your unit piles in and consolidates. 6 inch step 3. That's always cool. Piles in and consolidates. Yeah, that for slow guys. Yeah. Augmented Assault. When you, in the movement phase, 1 Chthonian Berserker unit from your army that has been selected to move. Each time you use it, you can spend up to 2 YP until the end turn. Add X to the move characteristic model of units, where X is the number of YP you spent during the use of the stratagem, and your unit is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. Okay, so, oh my gosh, it's starting to become like Magic the Gathering over here. Add X to the move characteristic models in your unit, where X is the number of YP you spent. So you're spending 1, and if you spend the 1, you will be able to declare a charge in a turn in which you advanced. But you can also push their movement, I guess, up to a 7. I think they're 5 movements, a 7. 7 plus a run plus a charge. Tectonic Fracture. When you're shooting Earthshakers, in your shooting phase, you can use it up to 2 YP. Select 1 enemy unit by 1 or more of your units. Select 1 enemy unit, hit. Right. Subtract 2 from the movement characteristic. You spend YP during this, you subtract 2 from the charge rolls made for you. So, looks like you don't get the advance. You're just going to subtract from their move and charge. Meh. I mean, considering we had it, I guess now you can guarantee it, but you're also going to have to spend those yield points. Maybe. Weaverka Buttress. Your opponent shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. If units from your army have hostile acquisition, okay, your opponent's shooting phase just after your enemy unit has selected its targets. If units from your army, okay, so you have to be in hostile mode. 1 League of Votann infantry unit from your army was selected as the target. What do we do here? Each time they attack, subtract 1 from the wound roll. What? Oh, okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, okay. So you make your berserkers a little tougher. You probably have a 10-man that you're running around to do all the give them back models and charge into stuff. And those guys are going to, dump that fire back down. And it's not in your defensive mode. So, let's see. Hidden access ways. Gosh, all these are 1 CP? That's nice. That's cool. 1 Chthonian Berserker, Hearthkin Warrior, or Hearthkin Jaeger's unit from your army is not within engagement range. Remove them from the battlefield and place them in strategic reserves. That's great. Chthonian Berserkers, Hearthkin Warriors, or Jaegers. And the Chthonian Berserkers Deep Strike, right? So, yeah. Hearthkin Warriors or Jaegers. Gosh, that's cool. Okay, that's good. I like that. And it's like a whole tunneling system. Everyone's been digging and tunneling. That's cool. Hearthfire Arsenal optimal application. At the end of your command phase, you gain 1 YP for each objective marker you control that is not within your deployment zone and has 1 or more Iron Master or Strategist models from your to a maximum of 2 gained from this detachment rule per turn. Sure. So at the end of your command phase, you get 1 more YP for each objective marker you control not within your deployment zone. Okay, so it's going to reward you for having your warriors and strategists out there. In your shooting phase, each time I broke your Iron Skin Steeljack or Arcanist Evaluator unit from your army is selected to shoot. Okay, so they're including that science guy, right? You can spend 1 yield point if you do so until the end of the phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll hit rolls a 1. Yeah, maybe. Broke here for sure. That's cool. A lot of rerolls. Gosh, that's tempting. Alright, Far Stride Node. Iron Master or Menmir Strategist model only. Oh, they have the Deep Strike ability? What? An Iron Master? And models in the Bears unit have the Deep Strike ability? Oh, that's so good. I love Deep Strike. I mean, I know I didn't say it for the Slayers back there, the Chthonian Berserkers. I like that they're... I'm less excited about Berserkers Deep Striking, because then they still have to, like, make a charge, or maybe they do it, and then they get to move and charge. It's, it's trickier, but I love Deep Striking Votann. And I mean, let's be honest. The Iron Master with a Thunderkin unit, deep striking, is what I've wanted for like over a year or so now. Like, gosh, I wish these guys didn't have to walk on the side of the board so they could shoot something. Oh, deep strike them? Oh, 24-inch range now? Oh, okay. I mean, I just get to kill one of your vehicles? Yay, right? I just get to show up and shoot, this is probably mine. I like the Hearthfire Arsenal already. They can deep strike their Thunderkin. I'm already like, I'm in. Calculate Tenacity. Iron Master and Menmir Strategist model only while the bear is leading a unit. Add 1 of the objective control. That's cool. It makes your guys a little more like you're basically your Thunderkin and your robots are gonna hold objectives better. I'm down. That's cool. Mantle of Elders. Model only on Menmir Strategist. Each time the bear's unit is selected to shoot, if you spend YP using the optimal application attachment rule when doing... Okay, well, you spend YP using the optimal... If you spend YP using the optimal application attachment rule... Do you spend it? Models for your army within range. You gain 1 YP for each marker you control that is not within your deployment, has 1 or more. In your shooting phase, unit in your army, such as issue, spend 1 YP if you do. Okay, so you spend it, you get the reroll hit 1, and then each time the bear's unit is selected to shoot, if you spend YP using the... Yeah, okay. So you can roll 1d6 on a 2+, you gain 1 YP. Okay, so the Mantle of Elders is going to let you spend your YP to reroll hit rolls of 1 while pretty much giving that YP back. So you basically just get to reroll hit rolls of 1 for free. A little bit of hoop jumping, but that's kind of cool. Graviton Volt. Iron Master only in your shooting phase after the bear has shot. And in the fight phase after the bear has fought. In your shooting phase after the shot and in the fight phase, select 1 enemy monster or vehicle unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the start of your next turn, that enemy unit is suppressed. Okay. When it's suppressed, subtract 1 from the hit roll. 1 enemy monster or vehicle. Yeah, okay. That's cool. You know, not bad. That's neat. You're basically crippling vehicles and monsters with your fire, and then also making them like a -1. I don't know. Maybe. Unwavering Accuracy. 1 Barokia Thunderkin unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the following. Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, you ignore ballistic skill, characteristics, hit rolls, wound roll, the attack roll, the attack's armor penetration. Oh, cool. Oh, it's 2 CP. Ouch. But, you know, if you're wanting to lay down the rounds and the shooting, and you're like, no, I don't want your Nurgle, I don't want your Armor of Contempt, I don't want any of this stuff affecting, just don't even bother, I'm just using this. Let's see, first concern, when you're shooting phase, just after to broke your Iron Kin, Steeljacks, or Arcanist Evaluator unit for your army. I like that the Arcanist Evaluator's thrown into this, giving him a little more, because I wasn't thrilled with him, but he gives him a little more oomph then, because he's got some rules. So, after they shot, until, if your unit remains stationary in your movement phase, it can make a normal move. Oh! Only after executing the prepared firing solutions with the kin host's heaviest guns, lines move on to specially assessing the next target. Okay. Target that broke here, Iron Steeljacks, or Arcanist Evaluator unit, and they can make a normal move. Okay, so basically you can stay still and shoot and then move. Okay. When you're shooting phase, for delayed fire rounds, your shooting phase just after a unit of Ironkin, Steeljacks, Arcanist Evaluator unit for your shot. Target that broke here, Iron Steeljacks, or Arcanist Evaluator unit. Okay. Select one enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, which seems a little contradictory. Hit by one or more of those attacks until your next shooting phase. Starting your next shooting phase, each time the enemy makes a normal advance or fallback move, roll d6 for each model in that unit. For each roll 1, they suffer 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6. What? Exotic ammunitions concede enemy lines with slow release deaths. So you shoot them, and then you go, alright, also you got delayed fire rounds. I like that. That's indifferent strat. I like it. It's interesting. I mean, I like it because it's different. And now when someone moves, they have to take dangerous terrain checks, basically. They have to go, oh, I roll a d6 and on ones, I suffer rolls. I kind of dig that. That's neat. It's interesting. I don't know how useful it would really be, but that's a really fun strat that makes someone go, oh, you've hit me with like time detonations. Wall of Steel. When your charge phase, just after an Ironkin Steeljack unit from your army ends the charge move. Okay, so they charge the Ironkin Steeljack unit. Yeah. Each time you use a stratagem, you can spend 2 YP. Yeah. Select one enemy unit, excluding monsters or vehicles. Okay. Within engagement range of your unit, and roll d6 for each model in your unit, adding 2 additional d6 if you spent YP. Okay. 4 plus 1 mortal wound. Got it. It's a mortal wound charge that you can up. But I don't know how many the Steeljacks have. I think each, yeah. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit and roll d6 for each model in your unit. Okay, so all of them. I don't know if you can have 6. I haven't looked that far. But 3 plus 2, you'd get 5, maybe. Could be 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Preventative Purge. Your opponent's movement phase just after the enemy ends a fallback move. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. One Thunderkin or Ironkin unit can shoot as if every shoot is. Oh no. When doing so, you target the enemy unit. And each time a model in your unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Yeah, okay, so basically anyone trying to get away, you've got a chance of like mowing them down, sure. That's a pretty good ability. No one's going to want to flee if you can just shoot them. But why would anyone fall back from a Thunderkin unit? Maybe the Steeljacks. But then, would they fall back from Steeljacks if they were like shooting? And if you're not a shooting unit, are you really doing much as they fall back? I don't know. That's a tough one. Probably no one's going to run away from your Thunderkin in melee. They probably want to be there. So that one might be less useful. Hearthfire Arsenal. Focused on aid. Let's see. Sorry. When your opponent when ending your opponent's movement phase, one iron concealed jack unit from your army. Your unit can make a normal move. Oh, that's pretty good. When doing so, your unit must end that move as close as possible to the closest objective marker. Okay, so at the end of your opponent's movement phase, your steeljacks just get to make more movement. That's pretty cool. Alright. Oh my goodness, there's so many of these. Right? Persecution prospect. Last one. Assailed from every angle. Guerrilla adepts. Oh, this is going to be the Jaeger one, huh? In your shooting phase, just after this unit is selected to shoot, this unit can use this ability. If it does, select one enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles. They really want to exclude monsters and vehicles. I'm sad to see that. Until the end of the phase, attacks made by models in this unit can only target that enemy unit. Okay. And only if it is an eligible target. Okay. And after resolving those attacks, if one or more of those attacks hit the enemy unit at the start of your next, until the start of your next shooting phase, the enemy unit is assailed. This simply labels that unit for the purposes of this ability and some enhancements and strategies. Got it. If that unit is already assailed until the start of your next shooting phase, it is also pinned. Wait. Okay. While units pinned, subtract 2 from its move characteristic, 2 from the charge rolls. So if you dump all your shots into a unit, they will be pinned. Or, assailed. And if you dump a second unit of shots, all their shots into it, they will get minuses from their movements, which is awesome. An eye for weakness. Okay, each time a model in the bear's unit makes an attack that targets an assailed unit, add 1 to the win roll. Okay, sure, yeah. Okay, so you're kind of grudging them. You're kind of giving them grudges, essentially, right off the bat. I feel that's what that seems like. Another one, writ of acquisition. In your shooting phase, after the bear's unit has shot, you gain 1 YP for each assailed unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. In your shooting phase, after the bear's unit has shot, you gain 1 YP for each assailed enemy unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. In your shooting phase, after the bear's unit has shot. Okay, so if you've already shot up some stuff and marked them with assailed, then this guy could spread some shots out to gain YP. Okay. Surgical Saboteur. In your shooting phase, after the bear's unit has shot, select 1 monster or vehicle unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. And then they're pinned until the next shooting phase. So this one can just auto pin. Select 1 monster or vehicle unit hit by 1 or more of those attacks. They just become pinned. So this one does work on monsters and vehicles. This one would just automatically pin a monster or a vehicle. Okay. That's very cool. That's okay. I can dig that. Man, oh man, this army would be super bad against Tau with all their crisis suits, wouldn't it? I can't pin you. I can't do my main ability to your army. The fact that it excludes, if it does select an enemy excluding monster and vehicles, that's such a big deal that you would just be like, oh, no monsters or vehicles will be affected by my detachment rule. That's real. I mean, what if you go up against the knights armies that everyone's playing right now? Everyone's playing knights, and then you go, oh, this unit doesn't work against you. I will do nothing to you. Yikes. I don't know. I mean, I like what it does, but everyone's so vehicle heavy right now. Anyway. Alright, Nomad Strategist. Leagues of Votann model only once per battle at the end of your opponent's fight phase. If the bear is on the battlefield, you can use this enhancement. If it does, you can spend up to 4 YP. That's a lot. Select 1 Hurricane unit from your army, and for every 2 you just spent, select up to 1 additional for every 2. Oh, okay. Once per battle. Okay. Remove them from the battlefield, place in strategic reserve. You cannot select a unit within your turn. Okay, so you could get, like, I guess 3 units out. Kind of cool. Yeah. I mean, I like what they're doing. I like all of this that's happening, and I have to see more of what the Heineken Jaegers and such do. But I like this. Um, but even if it went up against myself, I'd be like, well, here's all my vehicle. I got Sagittars and Land Forts, and I'd like to get some more of these little cool. Um, but it doesn't work then. It won't work against. Like I'd be like, oh, I can't even hurt myself. I don't know. All right, but maybe adaptable avarice. Start of any phase, units from your army have fortified. If they have fortified takeover, one leagues of Votann character unit in your army. Each time the stratagem use it, you can spend any number of YP, which allows you to drain. You could drain out your YP to get back into like aggressive standing, but this is in fortify, right? So you obviously will have some. Once you've done this, if you have 6 or fewer YP until the start of your next turn, units from your army have hostile acquisition instead. What? Okay, so this one just lets you switch back into hostile acquisition, which I could see that being useful. Basically, start of any phase. Yeah, basically, if you're like, I just couldn't, I don't want to be in fortified takeover, but I didn't push out of it, and your guys are all on objectives, and I don't have anyone to fight on my objectives. Yeah, I could see that. I guess I really need to fight this guy on objective, but yeah, I can see that. That'd be kind of cool. You can just switch it up. Well, and you wouldn't want to spend any amount. You'd want to spend enough to just drop you down to 6 and keep your YP for other things. So Frontier Momentum. Hurricane units from the army has not been selected to move this phase. Instead, until the end of the phase, if your unit advances, do not make an advance roll. Said roll 6. Add 6 to the move. And that's any of them. That's cool. Exposed flaws. Your shooting phase. One Hurricane unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot. Each time you use a strat, you can spend 2 YP until the end of the phase. Each time a model unit makes an attack, if you spent YP during this use of stratagem, and or if that attack target assailed a unit, you can re-roll the wound roll. Alright, so if you spent YP each time, well, what do you got here? So you can spend the 2, and if you spend it on the stratagem, and or if that target attacks and assailed. Okay, so if you spent the YP or the unit's already assailed, you can re-roll wounds, which maybe. Yeah, for 1 CP. I mean, and you want to be assailing things. Again, if you're playing against vehicles, I just keep thinking how none of these activate proper if you're playing against a knight army. Let's see here. Ranger tactics. 1 leagues of Votann unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack, if that attack targets a assailed unit and or your unit has the Hernkin keyword, you can reroll the hit roll. Okay, so assailed or your unit is Hernkin. So they don't have to be assailed, but you're going to reroll hit rolls. That's pretty good, actually. You get rerolls. Sure. For 1 CP, reroll. Yeah, reroll hits. That's cool. What is it? Foes thrown into disarray by the Hernkin offer a vulnerability that's swiftly exploited. Claim Staker Reflex. When your opponent's moving phase just after an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move. Okay. 1 league of Votann unit from your army, excluding artillery and vehicle units, that is within 9 inches of the enemy. Each time you use this stratagem, you can spend 2 YP. Your unit can make a normal move up to D6. If you spent YP during this stratagem, you just get 6. Unit cannot embark within a transport. So, it gives all of your guys the old Hernkin Hunter roll, and maybe even better because you can just kind of move around. That's cool. I like that. That's kind of neat. I can see that. I could also see how you do this adaptable avarice later. No, because it's different. Yeah, it's different. Anyway, yeah, that's cool. Dispersed formation. Your opponent has, was there a number 2? No 2s in this one, which is nice to see. It means they're all pretty cheap and making up for abilities in the army. Your opponent's shooting phase, just after an enemy unit selected, target 1 League of Votann infantry or Votann mounted unit from your army that was selected as the target. Okay, so Votann mounted, that bikers. Till the end of the phase, your unit has the stealth, and each time a ranged attack targets your unit, models in your unit have the benefit of cover. That's cool. Until the end of your phase. Oh, neat. So you just get to be like, spread out and find cover. That's cool. I like that. Minus a stealth, -1 to hit, and then cover the +1 to your save. That's cool. Alright, so finally, take a break. How long have I been talking here? This has been already, I think, a good amount of time. I'm going on 50 minutes. Yes, this has been a bit of a long one. And we're just finally getting to the units. Oh, this might be maybe I should do a double taker. I think people might be like, okay, and just go over the detachments. Yeah, let's end it here for the moment, and then I'll have another video I do up with the actual the units. All those detachments are a lot. There's a lot going on, and we'll get into them. I know it'd be kind of a long run, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so hey, come back after a quick break and take a look at the units. We'll go over some units here. Okay.